Hi guys, good evening. I hope you guys are able to see my screen and able to hear me as well. And the first thing is like I was not able to upload the recordings of yesterday's guys, okay? Because I am having some broadband issues, so I could not upload, okay? And if I try to upload with the network which I'm using currently, it will take a very long time, okay? So tomorrow I should be able to upload all the recordings. Okay, that's the first thing. Now, apart from that, what we'll be doing for today is we will be seeing something more about methods in Java. Okay, and ask as many questions as you have, guys. Okay, and let's try to understand methods. Okay, because methods are most important. Okay, methods are most important. Now, continuing with the methods, what we have started off, okay? So, I want to give you guys a pictorial representation, okay? What I mean to say is, say, let's wait. Say, consider this is y-axis, and say this is x-axis, and I'm saying there are different kinds of methods, okay? And there are different kinds of methods. That's what we'll be seeing, okay? And we have already seen it, but we have already seen some of them, okay? The first kind of method is, I will say, this x-axis is, you know I'll say with argument, okay? With argument. And here I'll say without argument, okay? With argument and without argument, guys. You will understand it in a while. Just give me 1 minute, guys, okay? Here also I'll say with argument, okay? With argument. Now, y-axis I will say with return type, and here I'll say without return type, okay? Without return type. Now, consider I write a method like this, okay? Method saying public static void print Can someone tell me this method takes how many arguments? Is it an argumented method or is it a no argument method?
No argument method.
It's a no argument method. And what about the return type? Is there any return type for this method? What this method returns?
I think true return type.
I'm sorry.
The what type method? It becomes method.
For some reason, I'm not able to hear you guys. Yeah.
Um, am I audible now?
Yeah, yeah. Now you're audible. Yes. What is?
It returns nothing. What type method?
Yes. It doesn't return anything. Okay. So it doesn't take any arguments. Okay. It's a no argument method, and at the same time, this method doesn't return anything. Okay. No return type also. Okay. So what I'm saying is whatever methods, okay, that you're gonna create in Java, it will either fall in one of these quadrant. Either they will fall here, 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 or here. That is what I'm saying. Now the method what you just saw, this particular method, this is a method without argument and without return type. So it will fall in this particular quadrant, okay, right here. Okay, that is what I want you to understand. Now I want you guys to remember this. I want to give the examples of each kind of method. Okay, this method doesn't take any argument and doesn't return anything. Okay, doesn't return anything. Okay, okay, this is what you need to understand, guys. Okay, so I want you guys to place the methods, okay, as per in one of the quadrant. Okay, so this is one kind of method we have seen. Okay, implementation of the method doesn't matter. What it does, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm just trying to highlight, guys. Okay, this we have seen in the first class. Okay, I mean, this is the when we started off with the methods, this is what we have seen for the first time. Okay, after that what we saw was we did something like this: string name, or else we did something like this: int num1 comma int num2. And this method is an example of method with no return type, but there are arguments. It takes two arguments, guys. These two are the arguments this method takes. Okay, so this method will fall in a category of no return type, but there is argument. Okay, so it will ideally fall somewhere over here. Okay, somewhere over here. If you guys have any doubt why it has to be here, you can ask me. Okay, and this method takes two arguments. Okay, yes, go ahead. No, your your voice is breaking up.
Okay. Actually, I'm traveling, so I will personally ping you tomorrow. Okay.
Uh, okay, no, Ankit, you have any question? You can ask me, or else you can even ping me as well. That's also fine if at all you are actually traveling.
I have a question. If that method is passing the integer, means the argument we are passing both are integer type.
Correct?
Can we have one string and one integer
Yes,
also?
we can have. We can have. Like you are saying, like this. Yes, we can have. This is possible.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Anyone, any other doubt? Okay. But this method takes two arguments and it doesn't return anything. So it belongs to this particular quadrant. Okay. Any doubt? Any one of you here? No? Okay. So we have already seen these kinds of methods. Okay. Now in yesterday's class, what we have seen is, I'm just gonna close all these things. Yesterday's class, we have seen these kinds of methods, which takes some argument. It took two arguments and it returned us the integer. These kinds of methods are called method with argument and method with return type. Okay, so this method is called as, you can place these kinds of methods here. Okay, implementation, I'll just remove it because implementation doesn't matter for us. So this method takes two in two arguments and it returns int value. Okay, so your method, whatever method you type, okay, it will belong to one of these things, guys. Okay, one of these things. Now this particular method takes two arguments, okay, and it returns integer value. Okay, that is the thing. So any doubt, guys, in any of these three things, any of these three kinds of methods, any doubt you guys can ask me.
Yes. Yes. If we have return type of integer, then what is the problem with this?
uh,
If we have the string type return, then we put
no,
in the
Ankit,
top method
I'm not able to
which
hear
have
you.
return type.
No, Ankit, what you said?
I'm saying that the return type is integer. That's why we put public static int.
Yes, return type is integer. That's the reason I'm putting it as int here. Right, that's correct. Yes.
Or if we have the type of argument, like one is integer and second is string, like the blue.
If what is that, Ankit? I did not get it.
We have two arguments. One is integer and second one is string.
Okay.
And and the return type is string. Then we should put the string over there. But this
No,
static
no,
string.
no, not necessary. Not necessary. Okay.
Oh,
So Ankit's question is, for example, say I have a method, okay, and the first is integer, second one is string, then what should be the return type? Is that correct, Ankit? This is what is your question. What should be the return type? What should I write here?
that is the correct question.
Okay. Okay.
As per as
Fine.
My understanding anything.
Uh, so Shivam is saying we can return anything. Okay, Nidhi, what do you think?
I think we can return anything.
It will not return anything.
As
No,
int or string.
no. What? No. The question. I'll repeat the question. What? What Ankit is saying is, say there is a method which takes an integer and a string. Okay, then what should be the return type? Should it be void or int or float or string? What should be the return type? That is his question.
It can be int or string.
It can't be float or it can't be void.
Yes.
Um, I think the argument and string, like how we should differentiate between like bit confusing for me.
Okay, fine. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, this was a good question. Okay, see guys, whatever you pass. Okay, this is what you are passing. These are the arguments. Correct? Arguments. Your return type doesn't depend on your arguments. Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, return type of your method doesn't depend on the arguments. Okay, this is the first thing that you need to know. Instead, your return type will purely be based on the implementation or task which your method is trying to achieve. So what I'm trying to say here is first thing, your return type, what you type here, return type doesn't depend on your argument. That's the first thing. But it depends. Your return type will purely depend on what kind of, what is the implementation. I mean, every method, say, if I tell you guys, okay, create a method, okay, create a method which takes a string name, and it will return the length of that particular name. Say for example, if you pass to this method, if you pass Vishal, okay, string Vishal, its length is 1 2 3 4 5 6. If you pass here to this method, if you pass Ankit, its length is what? 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so depending on what you pass, what value you pass, what you are trying to return, the length will always be the integer. Okay, length will be always be integer. Okay, implementation, don't worry. Okay, how to find the length of a string, that we are not trying to learn, guys. Okay, but what I am trying to say is your return type, this return type doesn't depend on your argument. but it depends on your logic. Okay, now the same method, if I tell you no, the method should return me, if I give you, say, if I pass India, it should give me something like this, INDIA. It should return me India. This time your return type will be string. So your return type will purely be dependent on what you are trying to achieve in that method, what you are trying to do. Every method will have a specific task to achieve, correct? So your return type will purely be based on that. It doesn't depend on your arguments. First time I said return type is integer because this method will calculate the length of the name and return the length. That is why the return type is integer. Okay, and this method converts length of the string. Okay, this method converts a string into uppercase string. That is why the return type is string. Okay, so your return type doesn't depend on the kind of argument. That is what you need to understand, guys. Anyone having any doubt? No doubt. Now there might be one more method. Okay, what that method does is it will take some string argument, it will convert into uppercase, okay, or else it will just print something like this, sysout, that is system.out.println, hi, good morning, plus name. Okay, whatever name you pass, it will say hi good morning name. So here the return type might be void because you need not return anything, you just need to print good morning message for that person. So your return type has nothing to do with what you pass. It purely depends on your logic, guys, what you're trying to achieve. Okay, any other doubt apart from this, or in this, any doubt, guys, any one of you? No doubt. Okay, fine. Now you might say, is there any way to be fourth kind of method? Here a method belongs to this. Here the method will not take any argument, but it will return something. It will return something. Okay, is it possible? And the answer is yes. There can be a method which doesn't take any argument, but it will return you something. Okay, That is what we'll be seeing for today's class. Okay. With return type, with return type, without underscore, without argument. Okay. I will show you guys. Is there any method? There can be a method which will not take any argument. For example, I will say a method public static void. Okay, it will return something. Okay, void and get date. Okay, get date. This is the method. It doesn't return you anything. Okay, sorry, this is the method which doesn't take any argument. No argument, no argument. But your return type can be something. Return type can be anything. Int. That's it. Int. And you say return 55. You can call this method. You can call this method like this. Get date. This is perfectly fine, guys. Okay. And since this method returns me integer, I have to store it in int value is equal to get date, and I will say sysovt. Give me 1 minute, guys. Value. See, there can be a method which returns you something. Okay, and there might be some logic here. There might be some logic written here. Here, some logic. At last, it will return some integer value. Okay, so in between you are saying int x equals to 55, and then you are saying x, some logic, and after that also there might be some logic you might return, but ultimately it will return an integer. Okay, so but it is not taking any argument, no argument. So there can be a method which doesn't take any argument, but it will still return something. Okay, now if at all you ask me, give me a real-time scenario, I can give you a real-time scenario, but I'm not sure how far you guys will understand that. Okay, so I will give you that real-time scenario right now. Okay, I will say this get date method should return me the current date. Okay,
Vishal, one quick question.
yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, if we write like public static void and get date,
Okay,
like instead of it like void.
instead of int, void. Okay, okay, instead of int, void. Okay, then
Then what should have we have to like in that case like
no, if this method doesn't return anything, then there is no point in putting this return here. This method doesn't return anything, right? So you should not be putting this return type. Okay, that's the first thing. And the second thing is this method, since this method doesn't return anything, you cannot store its value in integer. It is giving you error. See, what is the
yeah.
error? cannot convert from void to int. That is what it is saying, because it is giving you nothing, but you are trying to store it in integer, so it will give you error. Yes, Nidhi.
Vishal,
Okay.
one thing.
So in this, uh,
Uh, Shivam, go ahead.
yes, uh, yeah, on the sixth line, if you remove like int value equal to, then it should be fine. Like
Yeah, it should be fine. It should be fine.
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, this is fine. You're just calling that method. We have seen
Okay.
these kinds of methods, right? I mean, we have seen the method. This is the exact
Okay.
method what you're talking about. This one. Uh,
Yes, yes, yes.
this method.
Actually, today I'm not go through the yesterday video. Actually, you have not uploaded the
Yeah, yeah. I am
yesterday
at to
one,
upload, but
so it
this is the
missed out
same
for
thing.
me. So that's why I'm asking.
No, no, perfect. But this is the same method. Okay, what we have discussed. Okay,
Okay, okay.
this is the same method which
Yes, yes,
doesn't take
fine.
any
Like,
argument. Okay, yeah. Yes, Nidhi, you had something.
Yeah, Vishal, I want to ask, like, in real, when we are applying this thing in Selenium, we are using methods in Selenium. So how do we know where to apply which method?
Where do you know which apply with
As of
method?
now, I have understood all types of methods. But
Okay, okay,
where we have to, how do we know where to apply which method?
okay, okay. Now, what we are learning is not about which method to call. We are learning what? We are learning, if at all someone gives you a problem statement, say, I will give you a problem statement. What is the problem statement? Hey Nidhi, create a method which takes two two uh, two numbers, and it should add those two numbers and print it on the console. Okay, so the problem statement is like this: the method should take two numbers. Okay, it should add those two numbers. Third one is, it should print the sum. Now you tell me, if at all I have to create one method, first public static I have to write. Okay, what will be the third value? Will it be void or what? What do you think?
Oh,
Void. Okay, then method name I'll say add. Okay, it takes two arguments. I said it takes two. It should, method should take two numbers, means I'll say int x comma int y. Okay, fine, fine. This is what. Now this method can take two numbers. Okay, you have done this part. Now what that method should do, that method should add two numbers. Okay, I'll say x plus y, and I'll store it in a variable called int sum is equal to x plus y. Okay, so this one is done. It should add those two numbers, and I will print sys print sum. Now this is your complete method. This was the requirement. Someone, say client has given you this requirement, saying, or else your team tech lead gives you a problem statement saying that a method which takes two arguments. Yes, it is taking two arguments. And what is the second thing he is telling? It should add those two numbers. Yeah, I'm adding those two numbers here. Perfect. Then what is the third thing? It says it should print the numbers. It should print the sum. So I'm printing the sum. So was this your doubt, or what was the doubt? That is the main thing I want to understand.
yeah, this one.
This was the doubt. Okay, it completely depends on problems. You have to analyze what problem they have given. Okay, now you can call this method and you say add 33 and say 2. If you run this, it's giving you 35. It's giving you 35. It is printing 35. Okay, in the same way, if you give say 10 plus 2, it will gonna give you 12. That's what it completely depends on the problem statement. That is the most important thing. Even in the interview, if someone tells you create a method which takes so and so, you should be able to do that, guys. Okay, we should be able to first listen it carefully and then you have to do it. Now if that, say I'm changing the problem statement and I'll say it should, instead of print the sum, I will say it should return the sum. In this case, what changes you will do, guys? In this method, instead of printing, I don't want to print, so I'm commenting it. Instead, it should return me that sum. What changes I have to make?
The method would be public static string.
Okay, perfect.
Uh, Here we would return sum for the
Correct.
method.
Return sum. This is what you guys have to say. Now here you can say now int value is equal to
So,
okay, you print it here or you want to do something, it's up to you, but this is the thing. Now this method will belong to which quadrant? It has a return type and it has return type, it has arguments also. Okay, it will belong to this quadrant here. It takes argument and it returns value. Okay, any other doubt, any one of you, feel free, guys. No, no doubt. Okay, now going back to our method, the fourth, this quadrant method, the method which doesn't take any argument but it returns something. We have seen something like this. We have just seen, okay, a method. I'll create a method which says get greeting message. Okay, method name is get greeting message. What this method does is it will return you the message. Okay, it will return you the message. It will return you the string. Okay, and how it will, it is not taking any argument. Okay, it is not taking any argument, no argument. Okay, so it will say string greeting is equal to string greeting equal to hey good morning. Okay, and I'll say return greeting. That's it, guys. Now this method doesn't take any argument but it returns you some value. Okay, if you want to call this method, you can do it like this. Get greetings, it will return you string some value or some variable name. Okay, here it need not be value, any variable name, and you say sysout. value. See, this method returns this string. Okay, and it need not be so simple method. Okay, it might have some if condition. If, okay, if it is morning, then return this one. Okay, something like this. Else else if it is evening, then you might say something like this. Okay, this evening, morning, it's not a keyword, I'm just saying. Okay, I'm not implementing the exact logic, but what I'm trying to say is this method need not be straightforward methods, but it might say, if it is evening, say, it might say good evening. Okay, something like this. Okay, so what I'm telling is there can be methods which doesn't take any argument, no argument, but it will return you something, and these kinds of methods will belong to which quadrant, guys? These kinds of methods will belong to this particular quadrant here. Okay, and I'll place it there. Okay, implementation doesn't matter, so I'm removing it. Okay, this method takes no argument but returns a string. Okay, and any method that you're gonna see, that method will belong to one of these quadrants, guys. Okay, that is what is the important thing that you need to know. Any method that you see will belong to one of these quadrants. That's very important to know. And there cannot be any methods which doesn't belong to any of these four quadrants. So if you see, methods are not very tough. Either method will belong here, 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 or here. So always, whenever someone gives you the problem statement, you have to analyze first. Okay, that person wants me to take some arguments. Okay, or they might not say argument, they might say a method takes method takes two numbers, means it takes two arguments. Okay, that is the thing. And if it returns, say, they will say it takes a string or it takes a name. Okay, they might not even say string, it takes a name and it returns the length of the string. So return type should be integer because length is will be in the integer. Okay, so all these things you guys need to analyze and see, guys. Okay, now one more good thing is, don't put too much effort on the methods. Okay, because we will be keep on using the methods throughout this program. Okay, and methods are so very important. But even if you don't get it properly, okay, you will get it only with the practice. But even if you don't get it properly, one thing is for sure, methods will be keep on repeating throughout this course, guys. Okay, but in a nutshell, the method will belong to one of these quadrants. That's it. Method should take some argument or there should not be any argument. Okay, it should have some return type or no return type. That's it. Or it should have both, or it might not have both. Okay, so something like this. Any of these four combination. That's it, guys. Any doubt, any one of you? No doubt. If there is no doubt, that's it for today, guys. Okay, I will try to upload the recordings. Okay, and we have not done much today. We have just seen this particular part. Okay, these things, other things we have already seen. Okay, so that's it for today. We'll meet tomorrow, and we'll see some of the other things. Okay, yeah, sure, I'll definitely try to upload this recordings, but because of my broadband, as I said. Okay, because if I try to upload through what network I'm using currently right now, it will take very long time. Okay, so, and my broadband is down. That's the only thing. Okay, but otherwise by tomorrow definitely I should be able to upload. Okay, so that's the thing, guys. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks for joining, and unless you have any questions, you can drop the line, guys. Thank you.